everyone surviving so far. Nope, they are not getting hit.
Look at those. Oh, what a move! That's some late braking, and that's what you want to see. Lots of pressure put on the McLaren driver, but he's dealing with it like a boss.
Hello and welcome guys to the stream. Hope everyone is doing well. Tonight we're just going to be doing some practice for Nürburgring. So I'm just grinding the Porsche at Nürburgring. As you can see, race fuel load, max fuel. Haven't driven the Porsche in quite some time. I've just done 10 laps. So we're just going to go do some more practice laps. And I'm just doing like 10 lap stints to test different things with the car and see how they work. It's going to be a dry and wet race. It's only 180 minutes, so it's only a 3-hour race, so it's not that long. So we're just using Nils and Aliox popometer setup as a base, and I've just made a couple adjustments to that so far. See if they work. The main thing I want to make sure that we get rid of is any sliding. We do not want any sliding, because that kills the tires. You want it in quali. It's great, especially in the Porsche, to have a little bit of slip angle. But in the race setup, especially an endurance setup, a sprint race, sliding is fine. But for an endurance race, you do not want too much sliding at all. So I've not actually got a clean lap together yet, but I've just made a few setup adjustments to make it more to my liking. Obviously the others are on quali fuel load. I think still the fast guys would still get in the 54s, low 55s race pace, so we're aiming for at least low 55s, I think, to a high 54 I think is the goal for race pace. So we'll see what we can achieve by Saturday night is the race. So we'll see what we can do. Feels a little bit smoother in the first sector. I just need to push the car a bit more. Definitely got a bit more grip. Feels a little bit better to drive in that first sector especially. That was slow. I need to adjust the setup in such a way that I can take that corner pretty much flat, because it makes quite a difference, especially on the exit, if you can take that corner flat. But it does depend on your setup and the fuel load. Quali it's flat quite easily in this car, but you need to adjust the race setup slightly. Bit deep into the hairpin there. Two tenths already. That was a nice hairpin, gained a 10. Can we get this a bit better? That was much better than the last lap. Oh, terrible final corner there. Lost the 10th. Okay, gained a little bit of time into turn 2, but then lost it on turns 3 and 4. Oh, I messed up the trail braking into that one. It's just started to rain, that's not helpful. Not when I'm testing a dry setup. Still finding time. I take that back. Messed that up. Right. Right. So what I'm going to do is just do one or two setup adjustments. Can't really test if they work though. That's the problem. Can't actually test if these are going to work because now it's wet. Let me just try this setup. In the wet. One second, guys, let me just save this. I just want to try and see if this is better. Or, not better, but if this is okay. Driving in the wet, because this is a dry race setup from Nils that I've made a couple adjustments to, so I want to try it in the wet and then I'll go and try it in the dry again, because there's a few more adjustments I'd like to make. It's only a greasy track right now. It's very light wet. Whoa! Ho, ho. Curbs are still death. The amount of rain is very misleading. Definitely no curb usage. Tires are going to be a bit hot because the track isn't that wet. How wet is the track right now? Damp. It's not really wet enough for these tires, actually. Could probably have gotten away with just the dry tires when it's only damp. Definitely gonna have to adjust the tire pressure, as these are miles too hot. Doesn't look like the rain's gonna get any heavier though, and it feels fine. I think I might just swap sessions, because yeah, this feels absolutely fine. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Because that's only light wet and it's not gonna get any heavier, whereas we need either to practice in the dry or we need to practice in the wet so we can see how the setup is, whereas just that damp conditions is pointless practicing. So let me do this one instead. I cannot forget. Oh. Caps lock. I cannot forget to. Let me do it now because I will forget, won't I? Oh, you are joking. This one's full wet. I just want a dry server to check how the setup is in the dry. Why? It's painful. Okay, so if we did this, I want to fine tune it in the dry. I don't really want to be practicing in the wet, because the setup isn't good in the dry at the moment. Well, it's okay, but it's not perfect. And this one, is this going to be damp for the next half hour? Yeah, it's going to be damp for the foreseeable future. Alright, let me just go to a free practice session and we'll do that. Don't really want to do free practice because grip levels are different, but I have no choice in the moment. That's slightly annoying, but it's one of those things. Can't be helped. But there's no point practicing in the wet until the dry setup is complete. So yeah, let me try this. We're aiming for 2025, I think, on the temps. That's way too hot. So yeah, we'll do this and then I can actually test if the setup works. Once I know the dry setup is okay, then I'm happy to jump in that server and actually do some wet practice, because we need to practice the wet driving, because it looks like it's going to be some wet driving, but if I don't have the dry setup perfect, there's no point really. So let me try doing let me try this. Oh, did you? Well, try rejoining. I just didn't want to practice in the wet till I've got my dry setup finished. But if that's, let's see if it's dry. I definitely need some wet practice though before the race. There we go, that's a bit. And now it's a green track. Oh well. Can't be helped. Yeah, green track isn't ideal, but once a few of us are on it, hopefully it'll go. It still says rain in half an hour, so it's definitely going to be a wet race, or a considerable part of it's going to be wet. So yeah, let's try this, see how we get on. But yeah, it's just a pain in these practice servers because it's so hard to build a setup in them. That's why I sometimes just go offline, because it changes so often that it's impossible to tell if you've actually improved the setup or not, because every 10-20 minutes the conditions change, so you don't know if the conditions just improved or if you actually improved your setup. That feels okay though. Definitely less grip on the green track, but definitely feels a little bit better. too deep. Still green, but it seems to be drying out a bit. It is going to rain again in half an hour, which is annoying. But I can still test the setup anyway. Setup feels really nice now with those couple adjustments. All I'll do now is just go offline onto an optimum track with these temperatures and do 10-minute stints and just see how the toe and camber angles affect the tyre wear. And then once we've done that, I'll test it in the wet. But I would like to check what the camber angles are at and just see what the tyre wear is after, say, 10 laps. Oh, that was slidey. So yes, a very slow lap compared to the 56 flat that we did earlier, but the track conditions are a lot more green now. Too wide there. Oh, way too deep. To be honest, right, it's gonna rain it again in 10 minutes, so I'm just gonna go offline because that felt a little bit better. But in all honesty, I'm just going to go offline because this is pointless doing it in the server because we're getting about half an hour at most before it rains, maybe 20 minutes in some of the sessions. It's just pointless. We're better just to do the free practice session and just jump in and out. Lamborghini ST Evo. Might try qualify for that next week actually, because I'm sure I've got like no racing on next week. Oh. And it's LFM break, I think, next week. Let me just check my calendar, just because I wonder if we can try qualify for that. Yeah, we don't have any racing on next week, like any races booked, except the Monday night I'm going karting. So, to be honest, I could, we could try qualify for the Lamborghini Esports Series next week actually, because you have a few rounds to qualify, so we'll maybe do that. So right, let's load this setup. So V2. Now camber 3.7, 3.2. I would usually run it lower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go do a few laps, then adjust the camber. I'll do 10 laps, adjust the camber, do 10 laps, and then I'll adjust the toe, do 10 laps. So tire set 1, so it's easy to keep track of. TC and ABS is fine. So yeah, like I said, this is Nils Naliox popometer setup, and I've just adjusted it basically to my liking. So let's see what we can do here. Wow, does it feel better on an optimum track. Feels nice. So like I say, we'll do 10 laps, check the tyre wear, adjust, and then do another 10 laps, check the tyre wear and adjust, and we'll just do that until we don't have too much tyre wear. And then the next thing we'll be trying it in the wet. Feels fine at the moment. Tires Still warming up, but feels quite good. Oh, that was wide though, that's involved. Tire pressures need adjusted a bit. Okay, slow lap, but its tires should be up to temperature now, I think, because that's us done about 2 laps. So they should be nice temperature now. That was a nice first sector, but I invalidated on the chicane with touching that gravel there. It's very easy to invalidate. Couldn't be careful through the middle sector for track limits. Apart from that, it's not too bad. Maybe the chicane is sometimes easy to get a track limit, but usually if you get a track limit through the chicane, you go off track as well, because if you take enough curb to get a track limit, you usually bounce the car off the track pretty much. But you do have to be careful in the middle sector that you don't go too wide, because it is easy to get a track limit penalty there. First sector's fairly straightforward. I think this will be a bit of a slow first sector because I messed up on the first 2 corners. That felt nice. I think the rest of the first sector will be quite slow. No! Touched the gravel again and invalidated immediately. Yeah, a bit of a slower lap there as I expected. Just a few mistakes in it. I'm really liking how consistent the behaviour of the car is though. It's doing the same thing every lap. Some cars like to do a different thing every lap, whereas it's exactly what you want really for an endurance race if your car has consistent behaviour, because you know exactly what it's going to do every single lap. A little bit of understeer on that right hander, but I think I just put the throttle down a little too early. Yeah, it's going to be a slow first sector after that right hander that I messed up. Of course it's probably going to be a valid lap now that it's the slowest one. Oh no, I'll take that back. Complete oversteer there. I'm not sure what I did there, if that was me touching the curb on the entry, or if I just turned in a bit too abruptly. Tire pressure is a little bit high on the fronts and a little low on the rears, so I need to adjust that. Still a little bit slow in the first sector. Better than the last lap, but still a little bit slow. Yeah, 56.2, so a little bit slower than the 56.0 that we did earlier, and most of that was in the first sector, I think, as we lost a little bit of time there. As you can see by the fact we're already up after the first corner on the dot. Oh no! Slid on the brakes again. It's not what I wanted to do there. On par with the Delta so far this lap. Tiny bit of time on the exit there. Oh, 2/10, there we go. That was nice. Nice chicane that time. Oh, just messed up that right-hander completely. As soon as I hit the brakes I knew I'd messed it up just on the entry alone. Well, at least we found 3/10 before I messed it up there. That's good. That's invalid, but it was a rubbish lap after my mistake. Okay, 2 more laps and then we will have a look at the tyre wear. That was a really nice exit on the hairpin. Slow first sector by about 2/10, but really nice exit through the hairpin and that chicane. 2/10 just between the hairpin and chicane there. That was nice. A little bit of time lost on that right-hander, but not as bad as the last lap. Try to get the final chicane a bit better. Oh no, didn't get it better. I got it worse. Okay, final lap of this run. Oh, Cody, that was too deep. Still got a really nice line through the chicane. a bit of a slide. Just do the chicane. Right, let me have a look at tyre wear. Let me just reply to my teammate, guys. He's just asking for the timetable for Saturday. Give me 1 moment. Right, so that was tire set 1. Okay. So there was quite a bit of sliding, but still a bit of light graining on the front. So let's go for a new tire set and a little bit more brake bias. Don't need to reduce the TC, it's the front's locking up, so maybe just a click less caster, 2 clicks less camber. The rear of the car isn't too bad, but I will reduce the camber, and then we'll maybe adjust the toe if this doesn't work. We will adjust the toe slightly. Let me just check the rules. I need to check if there's a max drive time. Mandatory pit stops 3. And max drive . So my teammates just checked, and he can't drive quali, which he usually does, but he can drive the final 2 stints. So I'll probably drive quali in the first stint and then he'll drive the final 2. What I would like to check is the fuel consumption, because I'm noticing there is no max driver time. So in theory you could do 2 slightly longer stints and then 1 shorter stint, or you could do 3 60-minute stints. So I just want to check something. Fuel per lap 2.87. So it's saying we only need 104 litres for a 65-minute stint, which is quite a bit lower than I thought. So if we only need 105 litres for 65-minute stint, then that means the final stint can be slightly shorter. But if there's 3 mandatory pit stops for tyre wear, it would make more sense to do 3 60-minute stints instead of like 2 70-minute stints and then 1 final shorter stint. But yeah, so what we'll do is we've adjusted the camber, so we'll go out and try and see if that affects the tyre wear at all. I'll just make sure we're on tyre set 2 to keep track, and we'll go out and we'll do that. Give me 1 second, I'm just going to get to the bathroom and then I'll be back in a moment. But yeah, that's what we'll do next, is we'll try and see if that affects the wear at all, the tyre wear. So just give me 1 moment, guys. Right. Just check my mic. Is my mic working? It is. Right. So yeah, let's go out, see if this changes the tyre wear by much. Hopefully it should. And if it does, then we'll do the 10 laps. We'll see what it looks like. We'll go. What should we do? I might stop the stream, or I might do a wet stint and then finish up the stream for tonight. But yeah, the other thing is I think maybe this weekend or next week I'm going to switch rooms with one of my siblings, so the rig will be moved around. So if one of the streams start and everything has changed, you know why. But yeah, hopefully it should be a bit better internet connection, because right now I'm upstairs, whereas once I've changed bedrooms I'll be downstairs, right beside the Wi-Fi router. So I am on an Ethernet cable, but it's a really long Ethernet cable, whereas if I'm right outside the Ethernet, then I should have a much better connection, so we'll see. But yeah, should hopefully be a bit better for the heat as well. It shouldn't be so hot, because it'll be a slightly bit bigger room. Right, so let's try this again. We'll do till lap 20 or 19. See if the tyre wear has changed, and then that should be us. I'm pretty happy with the setup at the moment. I just need to try it in the wet. They felt a little bit better through this chicane, but then that might just be the fresher tyres. You know what I didn't do though, guys, is I forgot to adjust the tyre pressure after that stint. My mistake. It wasn't by much, it was just like half PSI on the fronts, and maybe increased by like 1/4 of a PSI on the rears, but oh well. It's more realistic that way, because the conditions change so much over the race, so it's, if the tyre pressures aren't perfect, then it's good to see how it affects the setup anyway. But yeah, we are going to be doing qualifying on Saturday, so I will have to practice that. We're definitely finding a bit more time on this stint than we did last stint. Only our first lap and we're 3/10 up. The tyres aren't even up to temperature yet. That's quite a nice way to start a stint though. Almost 3/10 up. Just on our first lap, so into the 55s it looks like. We really want to get to the low 55s by Saturday. Really a high 54 would be ideal, but a low 55 at minimum. Invalidated through the chicane there, oh well. Go again. Rest of the lap was pretty good though. Setup feels nice and smooth, stable yet quick, which is what you want. You want a stable setup that is quick and good rotation. Because sometimes you either have a stable setup or you have a setup that rotates. Whereas really for an endurance you want the balance, because you want it to rotate even when the tyres start to die, but you also don't want it to over rotate that it kills the tyres. It's that fine balance. Whereas in a sprint race or a quali setup you just want the right amount of rotation, and it doesn't matter if you slide too much because it doesn't matter about your tyres. Whereas for an endurance race, your tyres are one of the biggest things that you have to protect with the setup. That was a super hairpin there. Much quicker than the last lap. Last lap the tyres were still heating up as I said, but this time we're 4/10 up. So even quicker there. And that was with a bit of a slow first sector. Just need to get the not the hairpin, sorry, the chicane a bit tidier. But about 4/10 up at the moment. So a little bit slow in first sector, really nice second sector. Slow through the chicane, but I didn't invalidate it this time. But I did lose maybe about a tenth just in that final sector there. Still our best lap on the race setup, I mean. Oh, that was nice. 2/10. Three tenths again. That was nice. See if we can get this chicane a bit better. About 6 tenths quicker than our last stint, so that's really nice. No! Oh! I went wide and it was still valid, but when I hit the brakes I was still on the grass, which just threw me to the right hand side. Still valid, so it was, and we improved despite that. So our potentials dropped by 3 tenths, but yeah, that was just, I used a bit too much on the exit of the chicane, and then when I hit the brakes, obviously one of my wheels was still on the grass, and that just nearly spun me. That's the type of thing you do in the race and then you crash into the pit lane entry and it is the most painful thing you can do on this track, is crash into the pit lane entry. I've done it before and it is so embarrassing. I binned it into the chicane, tried to save it, and crashed into the pit lane entry. Safe to say I drove with my head down for the rest of the race. I did not want to be seen after that. Okay, go again. Try to get this one valid this time. Okay, a little bit of a slower lap this time. Chicane, gained a little bit of time in it. I think the first sector was a bit slow. Oh! I tried that in fourth. Definitely doesn't work with fourth on the entry. No rotation in fourth gear whatsoever. Definitely need third there. Ah, that was just invalid. Just slightly wide there. fairly decent per sector. Gained a little bit of time. That 3/10 is all in that final corner because I've been to chicane on that other lap. So any time we gain through the rest of the lap is even extra. Because I already know I've got 3/10 at the end of the lap. Ah, invalid there again. It's so easy to dip a wheel in the gravel there. I think we'll do 2 more laps and then that's been another 10 laps. Because I think we did 9 on the first run, or like 9.5. So if we do 10 laps, we can test the tyre wear. Oh, thanks Riddle Time, I'll have a look at those. How are you keeping, Riddle? Did you have a good weekend? Yeah, I'll try them. I'm quite happy with the race setup, but I will try yours for qualifying, because I've got one from Popometer from Nils and Aliox for quali that I'll try, and I'll try the ones you sent me as well. Oh, that's invalid. I'll do the lap anyway for the tyre wear check. Oh, it's completely the same here, Riddle. Last week was just like a heat wave, and then just now it's a little bit colder, but it's still like it was 18 degrees today, which is maybe in some countries sounds quite cold, but for Scotland that is fairly hot. But yesterday, one of the days I was working, I think it was like 27 degrees, which is super hot from here. Oh right, perfect, Riddle. So yeah, I'll try them for quali. I think I'm happy with the race setup. I've just based this off one. I got one from Nils Naliox, and I just adjusted it so it was more compatible for an endurance race. Because I spend quite a bit of time on the endurance setups, which is why Luciano really likes the endurance setups that I build. But instead of starting from complete scratch, I've just based it off one of the Popometer setups. But for qualifying, I'll definitely try some setups and then just adjust it to my driving. Definitely feel more comfortable in the Porsche than I did in the Ferrari here. 100%. Right, let's try the tyre wear, and adjusted tire pressure, not as I remember. You got much planned for the week, Riddle? Yeah, I'm the same, Riddle. I mean, the Ferrari is good, and it is definitely a very quick car. You've seen that in SRO and other competitions. It's very, very quick, and I did like it, but I just feel more comfortable in the Porsche. It just seems to suit my driving more. I mean, if I spent a lot of time in the Ferrari, a bit more time with it, I would probably do a bit more, but it's just one of those things. It's just what I prefer. So that basically is the tiniest bit better for tyre wear what I did there. Still got to watch the graining on the front, but that's my driving. There I was really pushing the car, trying to find a bit more pace with it. But yeah, I think, let me just delete the setups I don't need. And that's definitely right. Okay. I'm gonna do the wet test now. Just see what it's like in the wet, and then that'll be us for tonight. Nothing much stewarding on Thursday. Alright, hope you get to enjoy your week then. If you've got a bit of nice weather. It's good if you can actually enjoy the nice weather, but if you're working and it's really hot, then it's just awful. The clamp of my T300 wheel brace is broken, so no driving anyways. Oh, you don't have a wheel stand or a desk that you're able to drill holes in to use, can you? Where is it you stay with all time? Just because I have a spare TX clamp. Because I still have my TX and I gave it to my dad, but it's on a wheel stand, so it's just screwed in. I don't need the actual clamp. Oh, you can't screw it in, that's a shame. Well, hopefully you can get a clamp soon, or get like a cheap wheel stand off of FacePay or something, like a GT Omega, just a wheel stand, wheel and pedal stand. But yeah, do you stay in the UK? Did you say Riddle Time? I can't remember if you said you were in the UK or not. Just because, like I say, I actually have a spare clamp. If you need one, like, urgently. If you can't get one, then I do have a spare one if you need it. Because I most likely won't need it again. Alright, no worries, because like I say, if you can't find the clamp online, or you're not able to get a wheel stand off of FacePay, because some people sell them for like 20-30 quid now, just the cheap wheel stands, then I'd happily send you over the spare clamp I've got, if you're in the UK. Now let's have a look and see. GSRC. Alright, no worries. But yeah, if you do need it, just give me a shout. And because it's just sat in a box, so if you do find you need it, then just give me a shout. Right, I'm going to send the dry setup to my teammate, and then we'll test it in the wet. Oh wait, let me try the team practice server, because that was wet last time I checked, to see if it's wet this time. Nope. Of course, like, I'm in the server and it starts raining when I want to practice the dry stuff, but then when I actually want to practice the wet stuff, it's dry, like, honestly. So now we have to go offline and jump into a wet session. Let me send this setup to my teammate, and then we'll go into a wet session. I don't have much trust in the Thrustmaster clamps. The thread of the clamp is made of metal that is too weak, so a bit slippy. So the bolt simply kills the threads over time. Yeah, I mean, personally, I didn't have the clamp for very long because I got the rig maybe 6 months or maybe 6 to 8 months after I bought the wheel. So for most of the time I used TX, it was on a wheel stand basically. But yeah, you know what, I'm forgetting actually. Don't send that to my teammate yet because I need to do something else first and actually check it in the wet, because what I've remembered is that if I do need to adjust anything for the rain, I'm going to need to adjust it on the dry setup as well as the wet setup. So there's no point sending it to him until I've tested it. But yeah, I would definitely agree. Like with the clamps, they aren't great. So if you can get a, let me see what they're called. There's a specific wheel stand. Let me just have a look at this. Give me 1 second. Oh, it's even in sale right now. So see if you go to the GT Omega website. So there is oops. There's this one. But there's also, so the Apex one I believe is slightly more sturdy, and you can also, if you've got a rolling chair, you can attach it to it. Or you've got the classic one, which is the one that my dad's got. But yeah, they're like £100 brand new. Or see if you go on FaceBait, you can usually find people practically giving them away. They're super cheap second hand. But one of them, then you could just use screws and you'd probably find it a lot better than a desk. Obviously you will get, obviously if you're getting like Hykinsfield or load cell pedals, then it might be a bit weak, but for just a Thrustmaster, then that's quite good. Oh, can you not fit it? Oh, that's annoying, because the good thing with those is you can fold them. So you can bring it out whilst you're driving, and then you can fold it and put it away. It doesn't always have to be out. That is one advantage of them. Right, so let's try wet. Minimum brake bias. High TC and ABS. Higher tire pressure. And just check it works in the wet. It will come. Nice. Oh, I just saw your message as well on Discord. Thanks for that. Real time. I'll try them out. The quality setups. So I'll try this in the wet. Just check. I'm not going to practice my pace in the wet. I just want to check it dries okay. If it dries alright, then I will send it to my teammate. Finish up for the night. I've got some studying and that to do. And then tomorrow we'll do some more practice. But yeah, the race is Friday. I'll be doing quali, so I also have to practice with the qualifying. Usually Luciano does quali for most of the endurance races we do. Some of them I do quali if I'm faster. But yeah, because Luciano has another race on Saturday. His race finishes just after this race starts, so he will do the final 2 stints and I'll do quali and the first stint in the race, because it's only a 3-hour race. So because there's 3 stints and 2 of us, one of us does quali and 2 stints and the other one does 1 stint, or vice versa. It just depends who's quicker and what availability we have, because usually we want the quickest driver to do 2 race stints and qualifying. But it depends on availability, so we'll just see how it goes on Saturday. I cannot say at all that Nürburgring is one of my favourite tracks. I don't particularly like it. I'm starting to like it now, I'm starting to get the hang of it, but for a long time I kind of hated this track because I just had no pace at it. Quite simply, I was just rubbish at this track for ages. Whereas I'm starting to get a feel for the track more now. So it's basically, to make it wet compatible, usually you would increase the front right height, but because it's a balanced setup and it's got to be quick in the dry, I haven't really done that. Instead, all I've done is increase the ABS and TC, lower the brake bias to minimum, and then change the tires. So let's just see how it feels. You have to watch for the aquaplaning on Nürburgring because there's quite a lot of camber on these corners. So you often find that the low point in the corner sometimes has a bit of a puddle. Especially like bits like the hairpin sometimes have puddles where you just aquaplane. So sometimes the usual racing line can be a bit treacherous. You have to just take the dry line. Oh, you definitely need a wee tap of the brakes there for the wet. Definitely can't just get through there with a lift, unfortunately. This feels like it's going to be fine in the wet. I just need to practice driving it. It feels incredibly stable, considering I haven't really adjusted anything. I think we'll do a few laps and then that'll be it. Had a nice bit of slip angle there. Oh, whilst I remember, guys, I have some very good news for go-karting. So the British Indoor Karting Championship is starting in about, or the qualifiers end at the end or the start of August, and I've been there twice to try and qualify since the 1st of June. I went there earlier on this year just with some friends, just to mess about, but I've actually been twice this month to try and qualify, and currently we are P4 in our weight category and the top 24 qualify. But qualifiers are open from June the 1st to like I think the final week in August or something like that. So there is still like 3 months for people to qualify, but it's looking good at the moment. The staff were fairly impressed with the lap times that I put in, so really happy with that. So hopefully, if we get in the top 24, we can then try and battle it out to try and qualify for regionals or nationals. We'll see what we can do, but really happy with it. So I'll be going again on Monday. Obviously not Monday this week because that's already happened, but Monday next week. I'll be going again and hoping to get a karting suit next month at some point. I'm going away for a few days next month, so once I get back or just before I go, I'll probably get a karting suit. So I've got my own suit because it's a lot more, it's more professional, but it's also a lot more comfortable to have your own suit, so that'll be good. Because the rented ones are just very old and a bit naff, and they're very loose as well. But once I've got a suit, since I've got the shoes, gloves and helmet, once I've got a suit, I'll just maybe get some like rib protectors or something, and then I'll maybe get some matching shoes and gloves so the suit all matches. Because the suit I'm going to get matches my helmet, so I'll maybe get some shoes and gloves to match, because it's made by Sparkle. They have like the full kit you can buy, but I'm just going to buy the suit at the moment because I've already got the helmet, but maybe in a month or two then I'll get the gloves and boots as well. Although it wasn't very great timing that my car needs a service, so I've got to get my car serviced as well as soon as possible, so that's a bit of a pain, but it's just one of those things. Shouldn't be too expensive because it's just a normal service. It doesn't need MOT till next year. Okay, I think I'll do 2 more laps because that, I'm genuinely surprised how good that feels. Feels really nice. think that's definitely quicker just tapping the brakes on the entry instead of coasting. I think you lose more time coasting than you do with just a tap of the brakes. Too much curb there by me. Silly little mistake there. So we've got to be careful in the chicane in the wet. But apart from that, it feels fine the rest of the lap. Okay, so tire pressures up by 1, down by 1, up by 3, save that. Balanced wet, all good. So now don't need the original race setup from Nils anymore. We've got the balanced ones, and I'll just start work on qualifying setup tomorrow. We'll try the qualifying setups, but that should be pretty much us done for today. What else do I need to do? That's what it was. I need to send these to my teammate, so I'll do that once I've closed the stream. But yeah, for just now, that's us done for tonight, guys. I'm not sure if I'll stream tomorrow or not, because Luciano's going to be on tomorrow night and we're going to do some practice, and because we'll need to discuss some strategy and things like that. His PC's been broken for ages. Well, his PC blew up. Not blew up, but his PC broke, and it took him at least like a week to get a replacement. So I haven't actually been online with Luciano in at least like 2 weeks, just whilst he got his PC, new PC delivered and his PC set up. So I think Luciano will spend a wee bit of time getting settled with the car, although it doesn't usually take him very long to get settled into the car. He does not need much practice usually. But yeah, we'll do some practice tomorrow night together. So we'll maybe do this stream on Friday night, because I won't be able to on Thursday, but maybe Friday evening, Friday night, we'll maybe do a stream then as well. But we'll just see. But Saturday night, I'll post the exact time on the Instagram. But Saturday night will be the 3-hour endurance race. So we'll see how we get on with that. That should be good. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching tonight, and hope you enjoyed. Hopefully see you again next time.